Hey guys, it's Carl Brown for GuitarLessons365.com. Today I thought I'd talk a little bit about playing thumb chords. Now I'm sure a lot of you guys, a lot of guitar players from the emails that I get, have a lot of trouble with these things. And they're used a lot obviously in rock music and in blues, and it's just pretty much any style of guitar, but most famous guitar player of all time, Hendrix, used them constantly, and that's probably why we use them a lot today. Now, Hendrix had a thumb longer than my foot, so we're not all going to be able to play the thumb chords like he does. But there's little things that you can do to kind of help facilitate this. So that's what I'm going to show you today, and give you that little chord progression to work on. So you get to work on just kind of this basically bottom half range of the chordal range of the guitar, and how to play, because it feels a little bit different to where your thumb is positioned as you go down. All right, so before we get into that, let's talk about the technique itself. Now, the technique itself, the reason why Hendrix does it, or anybody pretty much does it, is because it frees up the rest of your fingers, like an extra finger, to add some embellishments to the chords. Now, if you're holding a full A minor bar chord there, you'd have to lift up a finger in the chord to play an embellishment. But if you can play it with just these fingers, and you have a free finger there, usually your pinky. But if we still want the low note, we'd have to come over and play it with our thumb. So that's why he's doing that. Now, Hendrix really took it to a whole nother level with these things. He do complete like chord solo work with it. So anyway, so let's talk about how to make it, relatively easy on you. Now, the main thing is you're probably used to bringing your thumb up maybe for bends, but I'll kind of bring it across in front of the fretboard here. Now, what I try to tell people to do is you can alter the position of your wrist a little bit. You don't want to go too much, but bend your wrist slightly upwards towards your face. So in the back of the neck, and I'll just kind of exaggerate it a little bit, I'm bending the wrist up like that. So it's straight here, and then I bend it upwards, and it's towards my face. And then what that does is that moves the thumb up over the fretboard, and it also makes these fingers go at an angle, kind of like you're playing a C major chord, an open position chord. All right, so that enables you to do those little embellishments easier. So now you don't want to overdo it. You're not going to bend like this. You're just going to slightly bend up. So if you have your normal position here, or you're playing and you can't reach over, slightly bend up your wrist, and you'll notice that your thumb will now come over. And what you try to do is maybe bend it at the knuckle so it comes around, and you can some guys just kind of lock it on there. So it's almost like a vice. Now they do that sometimes for when they're doing bends as well too. That's the same technique there. You see how my wrist is up in the back. So that'll help you for doing bends as well. You can grab a note that you're going to bend, and when you do the bend, your wrist comes up slightly in the back towards your face. It's the same movement. All right, so now let's do this. Let's take that chord progression that I did at the beginning. I'm going to basically go down chromatically, and what I'm going to do is concentrate on the chords, just on the D string here, 7th fret, then the 5th fret on the G and the B. So as I play that, I'm going to add that low note in there. Now, the 5th string is really being muted by the top of my ring finger there. All right, so we have that, and now let's take it down 1 fret, and everything is moved down 1 fret. And what we're going to do is add the 5th fret here on the 2nd string. So we have 4 on the low E, 6 on the D, 6 on the D, 4 on the G, and then 5 on the B. Then you come down to the 3rd fret, and we're going to have it's just 5, 4, 3 on those strings, and then back to the previous shape, just a fret down here to the 2nd fret, and then to that same shape we did here at the 3rd fret at the 1st. So we have this. And then just to an E major. Now, get used to that first before you add the embellishments. You might want to just kind of do it like that, just kind of crawl down. All right, and then you can add the embellishments. That's for this minor shape. It's usually going to be an embellishment here at the 7th fret on the G string, hammered on with your pinky. Here, you won't really do much of an embellishment too much there. And then the major shape, kind of recognize that from Hendrix. So I'm hammering on the 5th fret on the G there. And then we'll do that again here. And then E, we'll hammer that one on too. So practice a little walking sometimes. Anyway, it really gets you used to shifting that thumb around, lifting up the pressure. So you don't want to pull it down. Just play, when you play it, release the pressure each time so it doesn't get too tight. All right, and don't overdo it here. If you start feeling it in the little knuckle joint, it starts getting tired. That's normal. It just means you're overdoing it a little bit. Just give yourself a break for a couple of minutes and come back to it. You'll probably notice it actually feels a lot more limber and a lot stronger the second time around. All right, so hopefully this will help you guys be able to play these thumb chords. And you know, it's one of those things where we're kind of born with however long our thumbs are. So some people, it's always going to be easier. It usually is easier, by the way, if you're standing up than if you're sitting down, especially if the guitar is a little bit lower on you. So just because it's the angle of your wrist and stuff. But it's a really good technique to have in your repertoire because there's so much cool stuff that you can do with it besides just playing Hendrix stuff. There's just, it'll help you, like I said, it helps you with bends and vibrato as well too. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you again soon for guitarlessons365.com.